Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Oh, looks like... See, I was trying to get... Hello, everyone. Hey, Raven. How you doing? As you can see behind me here, I was trying to get a green screen working, and it's not, not quite working. Nice ad break start. So I try to roll the ads while the stream is starting up, Jorstar, to get rid of the pre-rolls for the first bit of the stream. So is if people trickle in, they don't have to hit pre-rolls right away. So feel free the next time I start to not join immediately. I roll them 2 minutes after I go live. So you show up 5 minutes after I go live and you'll be good. Okay, yeah, I tried getting the green screen, but I think it's too dark in my room right now. Actually, what happens if I do this? Is that any better? That looks weird. Now I'm getting glare. You know what? I don't know. Ugh. We'll just do this for now. Anyway, so today we are going to start looking at tier 3, because I think everything that I could fuss with stuff for a while, I think longer, and I probably will continue to do so. But I think we're at the point now, and Jorstar, you were saying I need to up one of my bank users, because if we go and look at... I haven't even been running that much automation, and my 3 tier 2 bank users are already at 87% capacity. So I think it makes more sense to start getting comfortable with what tier 3 is, what's there, what I need to be prepared for, at the very least for defense purposes, just so that I know what I'm getting into. So, Jorstar, you're trying to see if you want to return a dictionary of lists or a list of flat objects. You're talking about the chat API integration that you're working on? In theory, I could technically up my bank user to tier 4 if I wanted. Yeah, I don't know enough about it. So that's why we're going to start reading into it, just so that I have a better idea of what I'm signing up for, right? Anyway, and I've got to use all this GC for something anyway, so it makes sense to kind of just tier somebody up, spend it on new locks, that kind of stuff. So we're going to take a poke around at some of the stuff that's going on in tier 3 and see if we can figure out what the next phase of the game is going to be. DTR.tiers has some good info without spoiling too much. Okay. Well, I think we'll start with what we know and what we don't know. So if we do so what is tier 3? What is tier 3? There's going to be new locks involved. There's going to be new corpse. There's going to be new ways to get maybe new hidden corpse, new types of NPC corpse, I guess, presumably. New ways to get NPC locations. New things, one of the other things, upgrades can be taken on Breach. Probably a couple of these things, there's probably some more things here. And I know that one of the things that we can probably figure out, and this is kind of something that you learn as you play the game. So as you go up each tier in the game, for those of you who don't know, you're essentially going down in security level. So you start at full sec, and then you go high, mid, low, and null. So right now we are in, if we look at X for GC2, if we check the security level on this, it's mid-sec. So the difference between, say, I think is transactions high sec. So one of the things that someone can do when they breach you is look at your transactions in Tier 1, because you're restricted to high sec access. Once you're in Tier 2, they can get mid-sec, which means that they can actually take your GC. But sys. Say X for upgrade to is low sec, so in Tier 2 they can't get at your upgrades. But once we move to Tier 3, they can start moving their upgrades. So one of the things that we could look at to see what would be vulnerable to is by looking at the what scripts are like security levels, like what else they could do. Like obviously they can transfer our upgrades. Sys.upgrades is high sec, so they can already look at what upgrades we have equipped. They can already manage our upgrades. That's interesting. So that's loading and unloading. Low sec is culling, so they could take or delete our upgrades. I'm not sure. Like, we already know that they can do all kinds of things with chats. That's because chats are all full sec, I think. I guess there's not much else here. Like, I already know. Let's see, market.buy and market.sell. So they can force you to buy something off the market at Tier 2, but at Tier 3 they can force you to sell something on the market. I don't know what purpose that would serve, though, because they can just take any upgrades they want from you. There's no reason to go through the market, but that is something additionally that they could do. Another thing that we can look at is let's look at the stuff that's in low sec. Tier 3. Log writer. Expose upgrades. There's data check v3s. These are listed by price though, so maybe writing a script to quickly scrape the market. We can also look at type lock, but again this will be by price. They're pretty pricey. That's interesting. Log writer is a lock. There are the lock jaws, infamous lock jaws, shuffler, and snow usac. Interesting. Jorstar, one of the things that's spoiled by it is the average GC you get per crack. Yeah, so I'm assuming it's like, so we went from like 100,000, 50,000 to like 10 million on average, which is quite a significant jump. That's 200 times. So if we were to do another 200 times from 10 million, that's like 2 billion on average. Is that about right, Jorstar? I think it sounds about right of a jump. Some of these locks, 2 billion, 1 billion. You can tell me it's not that. Okay. 100 million, 500 million maybe. Anyway. It would be enough that I absolutely would need to expand or upgrade my bank users. So yeah, the interesting thing here is that we don't know. We have some theories about where locations leak, right? Jorstar, you have theory about it only has to do with what your lock stack is. It has nothing to do with your tiers. Just run dtr.tiers, you find out anyways. It's not unknown knowledge. Right, but some of the fun is trying to think about it and figure it out, right? I don't want to just have like somebody tell me all of tier 3, because that's not how we did the previous tiers either. The security level of your user is based off your lock stack. So I have a tier 2 user, right? Because I have several tier 2 users. B2T. right? So this is a tier 2 user that I use for automation that has nothing equipped. So if we do what would I have to do here? I would have to do sysloc. So I'm gonna do this for a sec. So I'm gonna do sysloc here on my bot user to get my location, and then I'm gonna check it. Scripts.getLevel. Full sec. Yeah. So you're absolutely right, Jorstar. So autos.reset. I'm gonna reset my autos here to get that lockout. Okay, I think we're good now. All right. So, so the interesting thing there is that means that I could have a tier 4 user, like you were saying, that has all my GC and only tier 2 locks. Basically, the info in GTR tiers is basic account info. Xfers per second an hour, init cost, max upgrade tier, hardlines, etc. Then some things are what PvP tools are available, upgrades, and average NPC payouts. Okay. Okay. So I'll probably take a look at that. Sorry, just give me 1 second here. I have to blow my nose, and I don't want to do it on camera. So. Alright, sorry about that. I'm like coming down with a cold or allergies or something. I don't know what's going on. Alright, so let's look DTR tiers then. Alright. It's a lot of information. Hey, Bokill, welcome in. How are you? Tier 3 discovery. Yeah. Doing us a think on... My window is a smidge small. That's the actual width of my window, so that's okay. DTR should have done sys.columnize. Like this is the size of my actual window. It's not just for it's not just for streaming. This is the size of the window I use. You're good, Bokill. Just hanging out after work and relaxing. Good, awesome. Yeah, I mean, like, that's okay. So, it's okay. So, tier 3, the max GC is 5 trillion. That's a significant jump. We have X for limits. We had 50 per minute here. That's 2 is 50 per minute. Not from, though. Cost to init is only 100 million. Yeah, to any is 50 per minute, but 200 per hour in total, or 200 per hour to any single user, and 50 per minute in general. That's the limits. Yeah, so that doesn't really. I don't think that matters too much because, like, one hardline is 3 minutes long. So I'm definitely lower than that with my automation, the way that it's running for withdraws and stuff for Glocks. So that's okay. Yeah, it's really just the capacity that I'd want. So the max upgrade tier is 3 upgrades held, 128. That'll help with key storage too. You could have 32 upgrades loaded, so I could put all the tier 1 and all the tier 2 locks on and still stay a tier 2 location. I don't care about hardlines because my bank users don't use hardlines. Has a location, true. Bin mat, don't know anything about bin mat yet. So these are the... This is the only new PvP upgrade that's accessible in tier 3, which is transfer upgrades. Empirical best upgrade color is purple. Typical NPC payout 5 billion. Manual transfer often required. Manual transfer often required. So I'm imagining you have to breach and then you have to connect to that location and then you have to withdraw the GC yourself instead of it just automatically being sent to you when you breach. Okay. So I could tier up one. So I think what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make a new user and tier them up to tier 3 just to go and start poking around, because I want my tier 3 exploration user to be empty, no GC, no upgrades, because I don't want to worry about like a lock taking something from me or anything right away. So I think that's the first thing that we'll do. Is I've got one more user slot right now, so we're going to create a user and I'm going to name it get Explorer. I don't know. Zydiver, maybe. Use an existing one so you have another slot in case you need one with a clean location. I mean, I could just retire. I have 5 unused retiring slots too, so if I need a clean location, I can always just get rid of them. All of my users right now, I have use for them because my automation uses all of them right now. Retiring takes 30 days. Retiring, I thought the user moves from your active users to your retired users right away, and then it takes a retired slot for 30 days. So it frees up the user slot immediately, I think. I've never retired a non-VLAN user before. Honestly, I'm going to buy more user slots anyway, so if I do that sooner rather than later, it's not really a concern for me. So I think I'm just going to leave everything the way that it is because my automation seems to be well timed with the spread of users that I have right now. So I'm just going to create Zyger. That's a... Oh, what was the Jur? V'ger? That was what the Voyager probe... Oh. Zyger. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. You should spend your bits. If you have bits, yeah, you should spend them. Alright, so... Create user. You have 11,000 bits. 11,000 bits. Where the hell did you get so many bits from? Did you buy 11,000 bits? Chats dot. Oh, all of my. I cleared all my autos. Joestar, you have 13 slots. You bought $100 more of bits for your automation account. It's a lot of bits. Dem's a lot of bits. That's like 20 more users, I guess. 20 more user slots. Alright. I have to add this user to my whitelist because I'm going to need to use some of my other scripts here. So I'll go to utils, add it to my whitelist, Zyger. Save that. We'll up utils. Alright. And I'm going to need some basic macros. So we're going to go over to my primary user, look at the macros list here. Wish there was an easier way to do this part. And we're just going to make some macros here. So hardline and DC. Check and access, I think we'll use. We'll do, where is ups? Ups, info. You're not Marto yet with your 200 users. No, but you're getting there. You're working your way up. Do load, unload. And reorder. And call. What else? We'll do S just in case. What else do we need here? We'll do minfo for market info. And market buy. And withdraw for taking stuff out of my bank, which I'm going to need to do very shortly here to tier up again. I think that's everything. Who is? We'll just take who is just in case as well. Okay, so yeah, I'm not tiered up at all. First tier is 1 million. Whoops. Yeah, that's okay. Then I need another 9. Because I need 10 for the second one. Okay, and now 100. Alright. We're in tier 3. If I'm exploring, why not make the window full screen? Yeah, I guess I can do that. Well, I've got notes and stuff, but let's see. Let me switch to desktop view probably, right? That's probably okay for now. All right. So what do we want to do? So if we do low sec, right? Because that's where This is where the next set of NPCs are going to be hanging out. Actually, before we get too far ahead of ourselves here, I'm going to bring this up here. So what we want is we want to look at what are the new locks. What kind of locks are we dealing with? So we're going to start looking at some locks here. Market.browse, type, lock, and tier is going to be 3. Okay, so we have data check v3, obviously. Check v3. We have a log writer. There's a lot of numerical replacements there. There's lockjaw. We already know what that one does. There is a shuffler. That one also has no vowels. We have a SNWUSAC. I suppose I can do cost here. Greater than or equal to, and then if I do 3 billion GC, BGC, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. That's it. There's nothing else on the market. That's it for locks? Really? Or that's it for locks on the market, and there's going to be other locks that I'm going to find on NPCs, I guess. We can also use beta lock sim, right? Which I think we're definitely going to do to explore how these locks work before we go poking around, because exploration in hardline is kind of a little stressful and time consuming, especially now since we only get how many? 18 hardlines, and they take 40 minutes to regenerate. What's up, sweetie? I love you too. You're a good girl. Yeah, and tier 3 and on, I won't find everything on the market. Yeah, that's not surprising. They're probably rare and more valuable for someone to be holding on to them or putting them on their other users, right? So, let's see what beta lock sim has for some of these. I don't have any upgrades, so that's fine. So let's see if beta lock sim even has them. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe this is entering hard mode. So if I do log writer R1T3R, right? Alright, it does. Lots of things are more valuable than 32 billion GC. It's not really surprising, right? If you can hold 5 trillion? Was it 5 trillion, I think? Makes sense. 32 billion's kind of like pocket change at that point, right? Okay, let's see what beta lock sim looks like now. Denied access by archaic log writer lock. That didn't seem to do anything. 32 billion is the max transfer, so you can't market more than that. So they're worth more than that, so people probably sell them through user to user, like directly, right? So LogRider didn't seem to do anything, and that's potentially because, you know why? I'll find out eventually. Okay. Well, beta locksim's not going to help us with that right now. Data check v3 is its own thing, right? Because we know how to solve those. And that's probably something that we'll get into shortly. Probably on this stream, we'll have to poke into that and start looking at some of those questions. Shuffler. What does Shuffler do? You spoiled yourself on it by watching someone where they didn't show how the locks work, but you see what it does now. Okay, it's a shuffler. Not enough upgrades. Okay, so I have to have some upgrades equipped. Interesting. I suppose I can just buy a bunch of trash, right? So let's just buy some trash upgrades here. Let's do Contel. Let's do a Warn. Let's do Lockbox. Locket. And then let's buy like a channel count V1 or something. Some non-lock upgrade. I can't believe people are selling channel count V1s for that much. That's criminal. They don't do anything. Alright. Okay, so I've got a little mini lock stack there, and then a non-lock upgrade. So what does Shuffler do anything now? Let's see. Minus, plus, 2, 3. Is this Polish notation? Or reverse Polish notation? Or is this something else? I'm assuming it has to do with reordering my upgrades so that they match some new order. So minus 2 move 2, I don't know, reorder 2 to 1. Reorder 1 to 0. So what do they want me to do? Move the one in slot 2 down 1, and move the one in slot 3 up 1. Reorder 1 to 0, and reorder 2 to 3. If I put them back. Minus 29. Minus 17. I unfortunately don't know what I did. What it wanted was this. Huh. Not sure I understand that. So this one, it said minus plus 23. This arrangement, it said it wants minus 29. Right? What's the difference between these two? So it has, this is some kind of reordering instruction. Okay, what actually ended up happening here is that it wanted it wanted Warren to go to the bottom of the list. Why? It wanted Warren on the bottom of the list. Minus plus 23. Is it 23 or is it 23? Minus plus. So there's a minus plus and there's a minus minus. I'm assuming there are other ones as well. So let's reset the locksim here. Minus minus 35. Okay, let's take... So this is one set. Let's look at another set. So the... Hey, wait a minute. It moved it for me. Is that right? Did it do that? It moved them. So it can also move them. Interesting. So it asks this. So move the top one to the bottom. Minus minus 35. If I put them back in the order they were in. Still says minus minus 35. And then move them back. Okay, so it seems to reorders. So the first thing it does is it seems to reorder. Hold on, I gotta save this. It's not Lua. T3 investigation. And it's a text file. T-E-T... What? Dude. Put it here. T3, we'll just call it tier3.text. Okay, there. It's worth a shot. Okay, so the first thing is it seems to do appears to reorder upgrades. And then says something. Gives some number and some negative or positive number and plus minus symbols. And a negative or positive number. Unlocks when upgrades match some undetermined order. Minus minus 35. Does it want me to like Rolodex them 35 times or something like that? No, because what would minus plus mean? So there's minus minus. There's minus minus and minus plus. No idea what these mean. Shuffle. I mean, clearly that's pretty self-explanatory what that does. We're gonna go look to see if there's any hint on the market. There usually isn't. Wow, there's only 3. Just did was here it. I put now right where that. Up count, upgrade count 4 probably, minimum 4, maximum 64. Name count 2, digits 2. You love the description? Yeah, I'm wondering like, so there's a minimum and a maximum upgrade count. There's a name count. Name count. A rarity count. And a digits. Ooh, man. This is not easy. So what did it want for this one? It wanted minus 35. What's the answer gonna end up being? I just lucked out on it last time. It could be anything. I wonder if this is... There's gotta be a hint here. It went minus plus 23, and what it wanted was this one going to here. Minus plus could possibly mean move to... Move from 2 to 3? No. No. Because I have a 5 here. This is a double digit number. Yeah, because we saw minus 17. So this is a 2-digit number. This is 35, not 35. This is 23. Minus plus 23. Somehow resulted in this. It must be doing a continuous... Like it does a series of operations on the array, and then it wants to know what the final position is after a series of operations. I'm wondering if that's something like that. Whew. Okay, well, I need to figure out the... So, I think part of this exploration may involve writing a script. Because I think I have to try some things programmatically here instead of manually. Because like what I want to try here, this is in the same order. It's just been rotated. Like I'm wondering if minus 35 is roll it back 35 positions, like 35 rotations, what will it be in? I guess that will still only result, assuming these stay in the same position, I could try just moving everything up by 1. Or really what that means is reordering 0 to 3 Does that work? Is this a multi-step process? I'm wondering if this might be a multi-step process. You do the first instruction, submit it, it gives you another instruction, you do something else. Does it want 11 swaps from low to high? So swap. So what happens if I revert it to this order and then ask it again? So reorder, what was it? Lock it, channel count. So 0 to 3, and then 0 to 3. Minus 29. Move 1 to 2. Plus minus 17. It's different now. It's now this order. So, I mean, having only 4 upgrades is going to make this very easy to get false positives. I'm wondering if it's not doing me any favors by having so few upgrades for it to shuffle. Okay, so I think I have to make a script, because I want to be able to try some things programmatically here. So we're going to go back to this. I am going to make, whoops, I want a new folder here for Zyger, and we're going to have shuffler.js. So it's going to call so it's going to call beta.locksim with shuffler of nothing. This is going to give us 2 symbols followed by a space, and then an integer, a signed integer, presumably. So we're going to do r equals r dot split. We're going to split by space. And then we're going to do let symbol equal r at 0, let and number is going to be r at 1. It's going to be parse int. So we have a symbol and a number. Okay, as soon as we call this, I need to know what my upgrades array is. I don't necessarily need to know what my upgrades are. What do I want to do? What does it say? What does it say right now? Is it still minus, plus, minus, minus 35, minus 29, plus minus 11, plus minus plus 11, minus plus 41. It's something different every time. Has it been moving it around every time? Presumably yes. So when you give it a wrong answer, I think what it does is it shuffles it and generates another answer. So you can't brute force it. Every time you get the answer wrong, unlike say a count NT, if you get the answer wrong, you just keep trying. With Shuffler, it appears to be that if you get the answer wrong, it says, okay, try a different question then. And you have to repeat that until you figure out the answer. So if I hit it again and I'm wrong, it's minus 23. What I think that means is, like, picture it like a cylinder. I think what it means is roll it backwards 23 rotations. And then what order will it be after you've done 23 rotations? That's what my guess is. Minus plus, I think, has to do with swapping. So it's swap from low to high 11 times or 41 times. I've noticed those are the only two symbols that we seem to be getting. Now, some of this could also be because I only have 4 upgrades. So it could be, you know, if we looked at the market stats for this lock, it also had, it could go up to 64, and there are name, rarity, and digits as well. So it's also possible that you know, this, similar to a count NT, could increase in complexity based off of what I have on the user. So if this is true, what this means is I should be able to build a solution for just the double negative symbol. If symbol equals minus minus. So what we're going to do, all right, the first thing that we have to do is we have to get the array of the upgrades. And then we have to, oh, see, the interesting thing is rolling it is just moving top to bottom, first to last. Everything moves up one. So you just have to move the top one to the bottom index the number of times that it specifies, if my theory is correct. So I just need to know how many upgrades I have. The upgrades themselves are not important. So midsec dot sys dot upgrades, I think. Is that right? It doesn't really matter, I guess. Hisec. Okay, hisec dot sys dot upgrades dot length. So that'll give me, so I'll have 0 and I'll have the last index, which is the length. Actually, I should probably just say let last index equal, and then this minus 1. So the last index will be 3. Then I should do a for loop here. For I equals 0, I is less than number, I plus plus. We are going to do midsec sys manage. What is it? I'm going to do reorder. I guess I can just look at my reorder macro here. Sysmanage reorder from to. So to manage, and we're going to do reorder. And it's going to be another. Oh, thank you, Smork. Oh. Thank you, Smork, and welcome in. Reorder from 0 to last index. Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be reorder from 0 to last index. And we're going to do that the number of times specified. And then we're going to call beta locksum. Okay. Let's see if that works. Doesn't appear to be working. Perhaps it's less than or equal to. Oh, I'll have to re-up it. Nope. Oh, ha! Fuck. No! Thanks, Joestar. I did put, well, you know what? Let's keep doing it till we get the one that we want. That's interesting. So it didn't put out anything that time? Okay, I think I need to log some stuff here. So we are going to okay, so we're going to log R. We're going to log R here. Then we're going to log symbol equals, and then we're going to put symbol in here. And number equals, and then we're going to put number in here. We're going to log the last index. Then we're going to do R equals this. We're going to log R. And then at the end, we're going to return logs. Don't forget 500 characters. Yeah, I mean, I can just replace the channel count v1 or whatever that I have in here with a char count if I have to. We're at 322 right now. But yeah, well, this is probably going to get out of hand pretty quickly as we're trying a bunch of different things. Last index is correct. The symbol was minus minus. The number was 29. So it parsed that correctly. And then it did plus or minus 1 again. It did minus minus 29 twice in a row. So there's two possibilities here. My answer's wrong, or my answer's right and it's a multi-step process. So put it back to less than instead of less than or equal to. Yep, I should try that. I don't have that one. I don't have that one. I don't have that one. No. It is interesting that it does seem to be giving me the same number. That one didn't. Okay, so it was a fluke. Smork, you have no idea what shuffler does? Me either. So we're all trying to figure it out. So when you first call it, it appears to change the order of your upgrades, and then it gives you this number, either a minus minus or minus plus, and a number, which can also be positive or negative. It seems to want you to reorder your upgrades into a certain order and then call it again. And if they're in the right order, it will unlock. And if they're in the wrong order, we think it just does it again. Can you see my notes? Yeah. It's a little harder to tell with only 4 upgrades, so we may be making this more difficult than it needs to be. So the minus plus 23, the only way to test that, so my theory was that the minus plus means swap, 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 but that's doing this, and then you do that 23 times. And the minus minus meant just rotate the whole stack. But rotating the whole stack is... I'm not sure. Maybe I'm rotating the stack in the wrong direction. I need to rotate it forward. I think what I need to do... It's going to take a lot of execution time. If we get like 41 and it wants us to do 41 sysmanage calls, right? That's going to take up a lot of time. I think it might be better to take the array of locks in memory, do the shuffling in memory, then look at the final shape of the array and that last step is extremely difficult. Reproduce that order. Reproducing that order from the array is a lot more difficult because why? Because it's a big series of reorders that need to happen. I mean, it's not that bad because you would start from the top, find who's supposed to be in 0, and you swap them with 0. Then find who's supposed to be in 1 and swap them with 1. And you'll eventually get to the end. I want to make sure that this is the right approach though before I write all that code. figure it out with only a couple calls by doing it in memory. Yeah, but so the runtime, right? That's why I would want to do it in memory, is the runtime. But we're not running into that problem now, and it's not the right answer. So I'm not sure that that's the right approach anyway. So I don't want to write all that code if that's not actually going to be giving us the answer. I think that would be like a step 2 for optimizing it. But if it's going to be something like that, yeah. If it's something like that, yeah. Then we will yeah, figure out with the, oh yeah, sorry, George Story, yeah, I get what you're saying now. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, that would be the best way to do it once we figured out. When you did this with 10 upgrades, it gave you an 8-digit number. So Smork, I think the digit is a property of the lock. Because on the market, where was it? On the market, it has a digits property. So it's, and this is just a rarity 1. So I have a feeling like you might have run into an extremely high rarity shuffler that had 8 digits. And especially if that's true and it gives an 8-digit number, you absolutely have to do it in memory. There is no way in hell you'll be able to do that through sysmanage calls. The only problem is I don't know if this is what it wants. So minus minus or minus plus? Minus or minus plus? I thought it meant rotate everything down. Reorder from 0 to the last index. Everything shifts up. Maybe I want it to shift in the other direction. Grab a couple more upgrades. Yeah, I guess I might as well, right? I'm gonna probably need a character count anyway, so... Can I beta lock sim with a lower number to figure out what it does? So I think the beta lock sim, I think what I'm using right now hit digits of 2. With a lower number. Minimum upgrade count is 4. Well, the minimum upgrade... So there was only 3 of them on the market, so we actually don't know what the range of values are in there. I think the digits being 2... Actually, this is... So... I know that LockSim has a few different properties that can be used. So... Sorry, this is really bothering me. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to see if I can fix this very quickly. This is bugging me so much. Nope, too much. Is that a bit better? Whoops. Now I'm kind of transparent. That's not good. Whatever. It's a bit better. I need a light pointed at it. I do have a light pointed at it. It's just not very bright. No, I'm using a green screen. It's a shitty one though. So it's a dark green. So it's just I need a brighter light. Yeah, the material it's made out of though is glossy. So then you see just like a shimmer behind me. I just set it up today. I need a softbox. Yeah. I just need a bunch of professional lighting equipment. I need I need a lot of things. This is like 30 bucks off Amazon, and I was just like, I just set it up like right before the stream, so it's the best I've got for now. But I think there's a few things I can do, but I'm not gonna worry about it right now. It's slightly better than what it was. Jorstar, seeing as there are only white shufflers on the market likely means it has no gray. Yeah, that's possible. I can use softbox with paper and aluminum foil. It's true, but I would have to affix it to something. This is it's a minor project that it would absolutely derail this stream. So I will figure it out, just not right now. I need like an actual lamp, because right now I just have like a light. Like I need like a lamp that gives me light straight on, so it doesn't bounce off the screen at the camera. Whatever. Anyway, so let me pick. I'm gonna go for count. I'm gonna try to get my money's worth here. Greater than or equal to 800, maybe. No. No. Okay, so it's starting to look like this one's the good one. Okay. So I loaded it. Kendrick Lamar has ruined you with A minor. I don't understand most of that sentence. Who's Kendrick Lamar? And is a minor like as in like someone who's under the age of majority, or is A minor as in like the musical key? Okay, let's hit beta locksum again. Where it's gotta be up here somewhere, right? Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna see if Shuffler has digits. If I can put 5, or yeah, 5 in here. And then what does it do when I ask for it? That is not what I was expecting. Fuck, well there goes that theory. Wow, that is not at all what I was expecting to see change with that digits property. Oh, yo, what the fuck? Okay. Okay, we're way off. We are way off. That is way off. So, yeah, Smark, I think it solved itself for some reason. I think maybe because, like, there's only a certain number of combinations, and eventually you will get the combination that it wants. It will automatically shuffle it into it, maybe? I don't know. Maybe it was a fluke. But, like, minus plus... So, digits seems to be the... how many dashes or pluses there are. and then there's some number afterward that is not just 2 digits. So this is not, yeah, so the number of digits seems to represent pattern of minus and plus. For example, with 5 digits, we can get plus, minus, 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 minus. Minus, 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 plus. Minus, plus, minus, plus, minus. Fuck. Set digits back to 4. Yeah. So that's what that's controlling. So that's why the minimum is 2. Presumably. Yeah. So the minimum for digits is 2. I should do 3, so I at least have some variance that's not just on or off. So Kendrick Lamar is a rapper, and he was in a diss beef with Drake. Oh, okay, yeah, I heard about that. Said a different way, but definitely is what you think it is. Yeah, I know all about Drake. Yeah. Celebrities, man. Celebrities. Joester, you want me to check my sys upgrades? Smork, is a good thing you came along and had me try this. I'd probably waste a lot of time. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, I was pretty much stuck there because the minus minus thing wasn't really working anyway, so. Alright, we got an ad coming up in a sec. Try sysmanage. Okay, let me copy this. Nope. So now, did you give me that solution after you saw minus plus plus 109, or was that from an earlier question? Because I set the digits back down to 3. Sorry. So we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. All right. And then we'll figure this out. Alright. Thank you for waiting, everybody. Okay, so yeah, I don't really have a good idea of what this means. Minus, minus, minus. Oh, you got another one? Try sys manage this. Nope. Digits. So, what could that mean? Digits. What were the other properties here? Min and max upgrades, that's not a surprise, but there's also a name and a rarity count as well. Correlation between the minus plus is to the number. Yeah, like, is it like... So, there's 3 digits. 3 digits. What the hell does digits mean? Also, there's a name count. I'm afraid to see what that means. Like, if I do name count 3, what does this look like? It doesn't seem to be doing anything different. I don't really see a difference with the name count. The counts is what kind of upgrades you need. Oh, so it's like name count would be like you need upgrades, you need 10 different upgrade names. So this will probably block me. Yeah, perfect. You're 100% correct, Smork. I also find that that's interesting that the feedback came back with a corruption character in it. So that's really interesting. Thematically, that the higher tier locks have corruption. That's just interesting from a lore point of view. Can you imagine if you got corruption in the question it asked you? I guess you just ask it twice, but some locks may give you problems with that. So there's a name count and a rarity count. So the rarity count, so you can get blocked. Okay, so what a shuffler seems to do from a defensive point of view is ensure that your target has upgrades equipped. So you actually can't breach in tier 3 without having upgrades equipped. That's pretty interesting. So you can't do like what I have now with a bunch of automated tier 1 and tier 2 users that have nothing on them at all. Can't do that in tier 3. They have to have something equipped if you run into a shuffler. So the digits then seems to be the only thing that's giving us... Ooh, you can go up to 10? Oh man. So do lockbox and lockjaw? That's true. But like a lockbox, you just need the key sent to you temporarily and then you can get rid of it. But like this one, you have to have like, you potentially have like 7 upgrades of 3 different rarities equipped, right? And if you don't, then it just blocks you. So you want to hear my theory, George Star? You can tell me if this is the same theory that you were having. So let's take 13 for an example. Let's take 13 for an example. So what I think might be happening, forget this one because we're not going to get an answer for this. So theory. When we have this as the question, the data might be older. DTR is a list of upgrades and their min-max stats. That's based on what DTR is seen, min and max. Yeah, I'm not too worried about that right now. It didn't like 10 for upgrade count or whatever it was. Name count, and that might be because there aren't 10 upgrades. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So here's my theory. What this really means is A minus B minus C minus D plus E plus F minus G minus H minus I minus J minus K equals 13. And A would be, if you were to reorder 1 and 4, it would be 14. So with 4 upgrades equipped, now I have 5 actually, right? This is kind of a variation on a count NT, and this is why I'm thinking it might be this. It's about finding the different combinations. So with my upgrade list like this, I have the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 available to me. 0, right? So the possible numbers would be all the 2-digit combinations that you can make between these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20, 30, and 40. Um, 12, 13, 14, etc. Right? Once you have all of your upgrades indexes all worked out, all the combinations of all the numbers that you can make involving indexes, well, not indexes, but yeah, like indexes. All the index digits, all the combinations worked out. So if you were to swap, like, if B were to be swap 2 and 11, that would be 211. The other combination would be 112. So you concatenate all the indexes together to get all of your different reorder operations. You find the one that fits into the formula that gives you that number. Then you perform that array of reorder operations in that order and submit the result. Would it use the index or the number if my theory would be correct? I think it would use the index because that's what you give the reorder command. Test that with digits too. Yeah, so set this back to digits too. So you get something plus something minus something equals 291. That can't possibly be correct. X plus y minus z equals 291. The highest number that I can make with my is 43 plus 42. That doesn't look right. No, it doesn't look right. So that seems to shoot my theory out. 291. That 291 with 3 numbers. What if it's concatenated? There can't be a 9. Yeah, there can't be a 9 because I only have 5 upgrades. Hey, Free Frag, how you doing? Welcome in, good to see ya. Stumped not stumped, not totally stumped. Running through theories on tier 3 locks. Shuffler is our first one right now. If it uses the index +1, it might be possible. So it would be position. So it would be 54 plus 53. Nope. Those are the 2 highest numbers that you can have. And it's not even close. Not even close. Free Frag, you're trying my puzzle? What puzzle is this? Your lock sim seems broken. Free Frag, what do you mean by my puzzle? I don't think this theory works. I don't think this theory works either. You can't possibly get 291 from only 3 numbers. And the reordering command only takes 2 indexes, a to and a from. Oh, you're trying the shuffler lock also, Free Frag, that's what you're saying. Your lock sim seems broken. Mine seems to be working okay. What's broken? Are you getting a weird response from it? Need to set the lock sim to values that are possible with the stack. It auto solves it. I'm not having any problems with that. Smark was having that problem, I think. Smark was saying he had that problem before with his as well. Does it always auto-solve, or was it just a fluke? It's possible it's a fluke. Because I did see one where I just kept trying it over and over and over again, and then it solved. Digits. So maybe this doesn't work. Because this theory assumes that it's not 2 digits, right? that would be 3 numbers. The digits will always be 2 digits. If you have many of the same type of upgrade, it auto solves more easily. It's possible for the locksym to randomize it in a way where it puts the locks in the way it actually wants it. I would imagine that that the locksym would probably make sure that it doesn't end up like that. But like what Smork was saying, if you have 4 key V1s or whatever, then they'll always be in the right order because it just cares about the name. But there's also the name and the rarity parameters on the shuffler lock as well, right? So it could say that you need 3 different names of locks of 2 different rarities, right? So you can't just have like 5 key V1s. You need like a bunch of different ones, right? It depends. It depends on the properties of the lock. So what I would recommend, Freg, is that you set all 3 parameters yourself to something that makes sense for the upgrades that you have so that it can't do that. Jorstar, you think it's possible for the locksym to randomize it in a... Oh, yeah, sorry, I already read that. Yeah. So these are digits. It's called digits. Two digits. What does this number mean? Minus plus 5. Foof. So we've had a few good theories, but man, I don't think any of those work. Can't be this one. Like, is it possible that the shuffler locksym is just like behaving poorly? You know what? I can test this theory now that I have 5. So let me try. Might as well. So this would be what? 2. Oh, there's multiple combinations though. I think actually that's a good reason why that's not going to work either. I think I'm just doubly disproving my theory, because it would have to be deterministic result unless shuffler accepts multiple correct answers. With the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, there are many different numbers that I could get, like an arrangement that would lead me to an answer of 5. Right? Like 4 minus 1 plus 2. What would 4 and... No, hold on. This is getting me confused again. No, it's not this. We've already determined this answer's impossible. Reorder only takes pairs, right? Swap a pair or an array. Reorder commands must be an object or a 2-item array. Yeah, anyway, I don't think that theory's it either. Need an array of arrays, yeah. So plus minus 102. These are digits. What kind of digits? What digits? Right? What do these digits represent? And what does it mean for them to be minus or plus? Like negative 494. What the fuck does that mean? Okay, we gotta concentrate on one thing. What are the digits? There seems to be a digits and then a number. But the number could also possibly be digits as well of their own. Plus, minus, minus. Okay, let's look at this one, because this one's really weird looking. Plus, minus, minus, negative 494. Digits. Does that mean it's a 3-digit number? I wouldn't even know what to do with that, because what would a 3-digit number have in relationship with? In relationship with the upgrade order, what would a 3-digit number even mean? Plus, minus, minus. Plus, minus, minus. Shuffler has no vowels in it. Plus, minus, minus. Plus, minus, minus. I don't know what minus 494 would possibly mean. It's such a large number. $494. Maybe it has something to do with the order of upgrades. Maybe it has something to do with a property on the upgrade. Like if we look at this contel, No, because the serial number is not a numerical digit. No, I don't think that has anything to do with it. Wow, I'm having a really hard time with this one. Yeah, I'm like totally stumped. I'm totally stumped on this right now. I might have to think about this for a while. It shuffles your locks. It wants them in a specific order. It tells you what order it wants them to be in by giving you pluses and minuses, followed by an integer, a signed integer. It says, here you go, do this. So it's an instruction, it's a reordering instruction of some kind. It's got to be something that tells you how to put them back into the right order. This is a 3-digit number that's masked. Is it a mask? Sometimes it's minus, minus, minus. I haven't seen... I'm just going to keep running this until I... Minus 719? These numbers are so large. Do I ever get... If I go back to 2 digits... What? 561. There goes that theory. What the fuck could this possibly mean? 561 plus minus 561. So it's a 2-digit number. There's something about the first digit of the 2 digits that is significant, and then the number 561. Yeah. I'm totally out of ideas on this. It's a 2-digit number. A positive and a negative. A 2-digit number followed by a non-2-digit number. Unless beta locksim is all fucked up now for some reason. Nope. It's going to be giving all kinds of numbers. Bless me, sorry. Wow. I'm a little surprised, honestly. I'm just kind of... Alright, you know what? I'm gonna have to just think about that. I'm gonna have to just think about that one. Let's go look at what lockjaw looks like. Because I don't want to just sit here and stare at this for whatever. Alright. That's rough. That's very rough. Jesus. How many bits is that? That is not straightforward either. This is funny. These locks are rough. This is a rough step up in difficulty. So how many digits do I have here? 32? They're not all 32 though. This one's 16. This one looks like it's in between. 24. Okay, so these are numbers. 38 or 40. So I could convert these into... That's a 32-bit number. That's almost the max 32-bit number, actually. It's getting pretty close. 0110. They do not all start with 0110, but 3 of them start with 0110. But I guess they're not the same number. How long is that one? 35? I bet it's that, though. 106? That can't be right. Hold on. $40. A 40-bit number? I'm not even sure I can put a 40-bit number into JavaScript, can I? Do you just have to feed lockjaw key? I wonder. So if I just buy a cheap one, no. Oh, it didn't buy it because it wants that count. Ugh. Wait, what? I thought I have count. I thought I put count in here. I must have copied an old version. Huh. Yeah, thank you, Smork. Hold on one sec, sorry. Look, Ma, you're on TV. Seller Smork. Hold on one sec, sorry. Sorry, I've got a really runny nose. I don't know what's going on. I haven't been feeling well today. So this is interesting because I always thought that lockjaw just took a lock. Or a key. I thought I just took one. I didn't realize that, like, it wants a specific key. So is it trying to tell me what key it wants? What is this? A byte stream maybe? How many letters? 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, all the way down to here. 4, 5. So it's not like it's, unless it's repeating the same. Why would it be repeating the same thing? No, because then I would see this pattern showing up 6 times, right? Well, why'd you do that? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? So that's a character. And the next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a character. Cyber Chef. Cyber Chef this. Put it all back on. So let's just take this whole thing again, just to make sure. Actually, let's make sure I'm not getting one cut off here, because sometimes I get one cut off. Okay. So let me copy this whole thing back into here. Fix this. Okay. And then we'll go and throw this on Cyber Chef. I had a hard time. No, that's not right. I had a hard time using Cyber Chef. Am I not? Cyber Chef Online? Cyber Chef Decoder? Why is it taking me to a GitHub page? Oh. It's whatever. Must be GitHub Action. So, what do I do? Input? I don't know how to use this thing. Step. To base 64, I guess. MDEX, MDEX, MTAW, MTEW. There does appear to be a repeating pattern in here. Unfortunately, I don't know what that means. MDEX, MTAW. You want from binary? None of these are tasty. So it is a byte string. None of these are tasty. So that's what it says. It doesn't want this key. That's so funny. You don't have the key it wants. See right, Jorstar. So I guess the problem with this one is the good thing with Lockjaw, so it's going to give you a byte string that says none of these are tasty, or something to that effect. Maybe it doesn't always say that. Suppose we could reset it. I have a feeling it says none of these are tasty every time. So the good news is that if you have no keys, it doesn't do anything, and you gotta have all keys on you. I think what you would do, Smork, is you would take all the keys that you're willing to part with and put them in your inventory. Then hit Lockjaw again. And if it still says this, then you bail. Because you're like, look, you want a key that I only have one of. So you're not getting that one. So forget it. And then you just leave the hard line. Because you don't want it to eat like your WVX or whatever, the one that took you a month to get, right? So you absolutely need copies of everything. Absolutely need copies of everything. And I guess it's just the question is, how many copies do you want to keep? So something comes out of... So it says none of these are tasty. It gets to the fun things when Lockbox wants the key that Lockjaw wants. Yeah, so when you're doing tier 3, you have to make sure that... So I think as soon as you hit the Lockjaw, it eats the key that it wants. I don't think you have to call anything. As soon as you hit in the stack, it eats it. So you can never use your rare keys in tier 3 until you have more than one of them. Which is a fine way to have a border condition, right, on tier 3, because it's just an NPC. Fuck it, just move on to the next one. Okay, it's the same as if you would run into a lockbox with a key you just didn't have, right? That happens to me still. It just goes, I want this key, and I go, well, I don't have it, so it'd be the same thing. Lockjaw's like, I want to eat one of your rare keys, and you go, no, I don't think so. I'm just going to leave. But it's good for PvP defense, because probably most people aren't going to want to spend that key on you either. But I believe it's likely randomly determined, so I think for defense purposes, it's a good idea to have a lockbox followed by a lockjaw. But what that means is when you're breaching a tier 3 NPC, you'll have to change your script. I should probably just write this down. So, it likely eats the key it wants immediately upon hitting it. This means so we should only send keys to the T3 user that we're willing to party with. It's random every time lock resets. Yeah, so it's similar to the other L0 locks, right? Lock it's the same way. So Only send keys to the tier 3 user that we're willing to part with. If it still doesn't open, abandon. If it follows a lockbox, it could eat the equipped key. So lockbox solve needs to behave differently in T3 and should also only use keys we're willing to part with. In other words, duplicates. Lockjaw is a count, so you guess the higher the tier, higher the count, the more rare the key it can try to want. Yeah, and that would match the behavior of the other L0 locks as well, right? The higher their count, the more likely they are to include one of those super rare keys. But it's just a pool that it pulls from. Okay, so solving lockjaw is fine, and solving lockjaw will likely just need copies of keys, and we will have to have like a give me all available keys call from the library user. So the library user sends like indexes this, this, and this, which is a good thing that I'm already tracking those indexes. So I'm already tracking those indexes here. So it would go and pick one index of all the keys it's willing to part with, and willing to part with could be a factor of its rarity and its count. And then it takes one of each of them, sends them all on a single send action, because you can send an array, thankfully. So send all the keys over, and then the user would return the remaining keys afterward. Whatever was left, here's everything, and now we'll be down one on one of the keys from the lockjaw. So that solve is not actually that bad. That's not that bad, really. Let's see if there are any lockjaws on the market, just so we can see what other properties they might have on them. So they have a count and an expire. So this is similar to the G locks as well, right? So it eats the key, and if you don't breach it, then it'll reset and it'll eat another one. 300 seconds. So we have to be very careful about solve time when lockjaws are involved. Jorstar, with a depot script, you just give what you have available, and for rare you put a -X, so you always want X amount of that key before it tries to use them. Yeah, you could have like a threshold, essentially. Yeah. I don't know if you would ever use your rare keys on a lockjaw. It seems like a waste. If it's like Smork says and you get one of these keys per month of constant automation, why would you ever use it for 5 billion GC? It's one tier 3 NPC. Why? Why would you bother? You're better off using it for something like if you wanted to breach another player for some reason they had a lockjaw. NPCs, you just go to the next one. Or, you know, you wait 300 seconds, maybe? Or however long it takes for it to rotate. I guess it's longer than that, but the amount of hardlines you have, it's a thing of do you want to use them or not and possibly get rare upgrades. Yeah, I guess that's a factor, right? Because you don't have as many hardlines. Tier 3 is like a whole different game, right? So yeah, I guess you just have to make that determination for yourself. Anyway, there are some I haven't even seen yet. There's one tier 1 key I haven't even seen yet. And my script is not keeping copies, and I should probably prioritize that. Like, I think I'm going to do that very soon. Because I should be building up an inventory, which means that I need multi-user key storage set up too, because I don't have that set up either. So again, it's gonna come down to going back to tier 2 and doing more work in there to prepare, which is fine. Okay, so the good thing is that at least Lockjaw and Data Check v3, we know how to solve them, right? So it hasn't been a total waste. I still don't know what LogWriter did. That's just some normal NPC tried to breach me. And it couldn't get through a Contel and a Warn and a Locket. You change your calling script to keep everything you don't mention. Yeah, I have a deletion list as well. You know, or you have an idea what it does, but you won't tell. That's okay. That's okay. We'll get there. So, let's look at. So we know what this does. This one's easy. Easy. Well, straightforward. Right? This one's straightforward. Need answers. And we may look at that later on another stream, because there will be some quest exploration, tier 3 quest exploration possibly, or event stuff that we can poke around in to see if we can find some of those V3 answers. I may give up though. On V2, I think there were like 3 or 4 answers, maybe 5 answers that I couldn't figure out, and I was just done with it. So I just stole the answers for the rest of them and put them in my cracking script. Hey Flux, how you doing? So Lockjaw, we know how to solve at least, which is good. LogWriter, no idea what this does right now. Lockjaw has all those notes. Shuffler, man, Shuffler. Sheesh. I have no idea what Shuffler does. So let's look at this one. SNW USAC. So go back to beta locksem and throw this in there. I know it's not very much, but when messing with the snow locks or whatever, never know what it's gonna do. Okay. Oh. 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 Whoa. Wow. Wow. That was mean. Yeah, that was mean. Wow, that was very mean. Jesus. Wow. Okay. Appears to delete, unload, and delete an upgrade at random. Returns a string of some kind. For example, it returned this. Is it solved now? Nope. And it returned that this time. Does not solve when it does this. Deletes another upgrade and returns a new string, e.g. this. We got an ad coming up that I'm going to snooze because I'm almost done for the night anyway. Shuffler needs you to have upgrades. USAC deletes them. Yeah. Yeah. Lockjaw deletes keys specifically, wants a specific key to delete. So how about this? You have a lockbox and a lockjaw and a USAC. Okay? The lockbox says I want this rare key. Okay. The lockjaw says I want that rare key too. Eats it. Unlocks for 300 seconds. Then the lockbox goes, hey, I want my rare key, please. So you load another rare copy. Then you hit a USAC and it deletes that one too. Lockjaw, lockbox, shuffler, USAC. Yeah, something like that. I have to learn more about what shuffler does, because just shuffling the order of your upgrades. Oh, hold on. My key return my key return in my cracking script is based off index. So I'll have to base it off serial number instead. So Glock account NT. No, you want account NT first because your Glock will change your transaction history, right? And then the account NT will reset. You just return all loaded keys. Yeah, that's probably smart. Mine doesn't right now. It just returns the key by index. Anyway, so the thing is, this one's rough because Beta's locksim is actually deleting my. It's actually culling my upgrades as I try to figure this out, right? Which is super mean. So, I mean, it's not mean of Beta. That's what the lock does. But there is not a whole lot of information there about what the hell this is supposed to be doing. $25 billion. Holy cow. Salt digits. Oh, it's a fucking hash of some kind. FB, FFFDE. Huh. Nom nom nom. That's funny. That's too funny. Geez. So it has assault digits. I wonder what happens, I wonder what happens if I have nothing equipped. Oh, I don't have the send macro. Send is going to be sys.x for upgrade 2. 2 is going to be 0, and I is going to be an array of 1. Doesn't let you do it with no upgrades. Fuck. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. But that means that you lose an upgrade. Guaranteed. You lose an upgrade guaranteed on tier 3 at random. Could be anything. You lose it. So it almost seems like the... Fuck. What's the best strategy here? So... Shuffler wants a minimum number of upgrades to be equipped, and it can ask for multiple rarities. No, because Smork, it can ask for multiple rarities. So it could say, I want 4 different rarities of upgrades, please. It could say, I want 4 different upgrade rarities. And you're just gambling with your upgrades now. So you want to keep... Okay, so what this means is it seems to imply that we need to... this implies we need to keep more loot from lower tier NPCs to use as fodder for Shuffler and USAC locks. So this means like you find a channel count, a blue channel count, keep it, because you might be able to use this for Shuffler. And if it gets eaten by USAC, you don't care. So you might start a tier 3 breach with nothing equipped and selectively load and equip based off of whether or not you run into these locks when you're breaching. So you'll run into a Shuffler and the Shuffler say you don't have enough upgrades, and you'll load 2. And you'll say, or 4 or whatever, and you'll say, is that enough? And you'll hit it again and it'll say no, and you'll send another one. Is that enough? No. And you'll do that repeatedly until you get through, and then the USAC, yeah, just like you said, Jorstar, the USAC will destroy one, and then Shuffler will say, you don't have enough upgrades. And you'll be like, yep, you're right, because USAC just deleted it. Your opportunity, though, is to solve the USAC hash or whatever it is before you do that. Before you solve that Shuffler, though, you have to solve the USAC as soon as it deletes something, because you don't want that to happen again, and it will do it again. These are mean. I don't know if there's another tier 3 lock as well that's just not on the market, so we're not aware of it yet. That one we might have to find by running into a tier 3 NPC, which sucks because that means that we're experimenting by paying upgrades. We're feeding upgrades to tier 3 NPCs. We haven't even gotten to the corpse or how to even scrape them or any of that stuff. I can't imagine how tough it is, because tier 2 was QR codes and that took fucking forever to solve. So I can't imagine how complicated the next one's going to be and how long it's going to take. But there's some prep work that we'll need to do. So I've got to get my key storage expanded. Let's switch to the plan here for a second. So key and upgrade distribution across multiple users. This is now extremely important. This is now required for T3 because of Shuffler, USAC, and lockjaw. Store copies of rare keys. This needs to actually be need to store copies of all keys to feed lockjaws. Yeah. Tier 2 is QRs, but Sean also never imagined people would write a QR solver. What did he expect people to do? Use their phones? Did you point a camera at your monitor? Flux Tier 3 corps are the part that you've been working on. It's definitely not small. Flux, would you say... Flux, did you write your own QR solver? Or did you use somebody else's? Alright. And then we need... So... Continue... T3 investigations. This is locks, corpse, lokes, scraper, etc. You never said it was going to be a small puzzle? Yeah, well, definitely not small, like... It's definitely... I want to know if it is... Is it more or less work than QR codes? Taking into account the fact that I definitely spent more time than I think the average player will on Tier 2, right? Because, like Jorstar was saying, it wasn't intended that people would all be writing their own QR solvers. And because I did, that maybe I made it harder for myself, which is fine because I enjoyed doing it. Well, I enjoyed most of it. I didn't always enjoy the whole process. I was definitely done with QR codes when I finished that. I don't want to do that again. You got halfway through writing your reader and realized you had to deinterlace and got intimidated. Oh, Flux, that's too bad. Is that the last thing you have to do? Because it's actually not that complicated. Once I figured it out, it was like, oh! And I could explain it to you later if you want. It's not hard. It's not that hard. That and navigating the fixed patterns. Fixed patterns though. That was a little tougher, and that was a good part of it. Anyway, I think we're gonna call it for the night. We've got an ad coming, and I don't want to end on an ad. I don't like doing that. So, okay. So I think what we'll do next on Thursday is probably spend some time updating the Zynet, that I'm calling it, to handle upgrade transfers and recording who has upgrades and who has what upgrade and moving them around. And also probably looking at the DataCheck v3 stuff, because we're going to have to figure out those answers. Those answers will help me marginally in Tier 2 as well, because I do still occasionally get blocked because I have 0 answers for DataCheck v3. So sometimes I get blocked on a rare DataCheck lock when I run into it. Jorstar, that's what you're working on with your depot script? Good. So we'll be working on the same kind of thing probably for a little bit there. Cool. I'm interested to see how you've solved some of these problems. Especially since you seem very averse to using the database for some reason, but you already have a ton of it already? Yeah, you've been working on it for a while, yeah, so that doesn't surprise me. Okay, anyway, so that's it for tonight. Thanks everyone for stopping by. We will be back, I will be back on Thursday, same time, for some more hackmud, and we'll just pick up right where we left off. And I'm hoping that, like, I'll go to sleep and I'll have a dream about... What will I dream about? I will dream about the shuffler. I'm going to have a nice dream about the shuffler. And wake up with an understanding of what the fuck it's doing, because I have no idea what that thing is fucking doing. Certain commands that can be ran through scripts can unload cron bots. Yeah, I've noticed that a couple times too, but... Okay, anyway. Have a great night, everybody. I hope to see you all again on Thursday. Otherwise, have yourselves a wonderful week. And be nice to each other, alright? Thanks for stopping by, everyone. Take care. Bye.